Usher was allegedly put in the hospital after Diddy penetrated him at Flavor Camp at 14 years old.
I know, and people know, that was around in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital.
Usher is caught in the crossfire when he was named in the latest lawsuit against Diddy by Lil Rod. The lawsuit alleges that Diddy was bragging to Lil Rod about hooking up with two people in the industry. One of them, a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj, allegedly Meek Mill, and an artist who performed at the Super Bowl and had a successful Vegas residency, which fans say is Usher.
In 2009, Justin Bieber was just 15 when Diddy promised him a Lamborghini. But behind that glittering gift hid secret parties, late-night clubs, and scandals that never stopped haunting them. From shocking footage to courtroom revelations, their connection blurred lines between mentorship and manipulation. It's 2009. Justin Bieber is only 15, fresh from YouTube stardom, and suddenly he's standing in the orbit of Sean Diddy Combs. Usher made the introduction, but what was supposed to be professional quickly took on a stranger tone. Diddy didn't waste time. He declared himself Bieber's mentor and even promised him a Lamborghini for his 16th birthday.
I mean, I'm 15, you can ride in the passenger seat. I got my permit. Now that. 16.
Slow down. Let's slow down, Justin.
Okay.
Let's slow down, okay?
One step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours. You're 16. Good to go.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did.
The media ran wild with that story, and when Bieber was photographed driving Diddy's white Lamborghini Gallardo in 2010, the image became a cultural flashpoint.
The whole thing was documented for an MTV special called When I Was 17, which makes this even funnier because Diddy was basically giving a 17-year-old the keys to a life of pure excess. The centerpiece of the deal was the car. Not just any car, Diddy's white Lamborghini Gallardo Spider. For a 16-year-old who probably just got his driver's permit, this is like being handed a spaceship. But Diddy, playing the role of the reluctant cool uncle, had to lay down the law. Rule number 1, don't drive the car over 20 miles per hour. Rule number 2, no friends, no parties in my house. Rule number 3, do not touch my Ciroc. Rule number 4, and most importantly, don't mess up on the white carpet.
Why was a mogul worth hundreds of millions lending his car to a teenage pop star? The mentorship spilled far outside music. Bieber spent weekends at Diddy's New York mansion, where insiders say he got his first taste of late-night celebrity parties. Paparazzi caught them outside clubs, fueling rumors. Some even claim Diddy gave Bieber alcohol despite his age. In interviews, Bieber admitted he was a little scared of Diddy at first, yet still called him a mentor, saying he was learning the ropes. But not everyone was comfortable. Usher reportedly argued with Diddy about who would manage Bieber's path, while Patty Millette, Bieber's mother, worried about the mogul's influence. By 2011, tabloids openly questioned the relationship, with critics pointing to hotel parties, expensive watches, Sean John clothing, and even Ciroc branding creeping into Bieber's world years before he could legally drink. Diddy compared him to a young Michael Jackson, a flattering yet heavy crown for a boy barely old enough to drive. Diddy even hosted a birthday celebration for Bieber in New York, a gesture some saw as blurring mentorship with indulgence. By then, whispers of grooming behavior were circulating, leaving fans uneasy. And if this was how things began, what happened when Usher and Diddy clashed over who truly controlled Bieber's future? Fast forward to 2012, and the tone around Justin Bieber shifts almost overnight. The clean-cut teen idol of baby fame is morphing into a tabloid magnet, and headlines begin charting his descent into late-night antics, paparazzi chases, and reckless behavior. Suddenly, the man who once called himself Bieber's mentor, Sean Diddy Combs, seems to fade from the picture. By this time, cameras no longer caught them side by side. Paparazzi, who once documented their club entrances, now noticed Bieber arriving solo, or with new influences like Lil Wayne and boxing champion Floyd Mayweather. The mentorship torch appeared to pass, but the timing looked suspicious. Diddy had once promised to make Bieber untouchable, yet as Bieber's image spiraled, Diddy's public mentions of him dropped to near silence. Why did the mogul retreat just when his so-called protege needed guidance most? Then came January 2014, Bieber's infamous Miami arrest for drag racing a rented yellow Lamborghini.
So I pick up the phone and it's his security, and he's like, "Hey John, we got a problem." I said, "Why? What happened?" He's like, "Justin Bieber got arrested." Jump in the car, I fly over there, I pull up, and literally in front of me is the yellow Gallardo, and I notice that Justin Bieber's in the car and basically being arrested, being told his rights and being removed from the car. It must have been a drought in news at this moment because this story was everywhere. The media impressions and the amount of backlinks and Instagram followers and all of this sort of buzz around this story, you could argue that it would have cost us maybe more than $500,000 to duplicate that. Us giving him the cars for less than $3,500 definitely paid off.
The mugshot, smirking and glassy-eyed, became international news, plastered across CNN, BBC, and TMZ. Critics wasted no time connecting his wild streak to those early nights with Diddy. Though Diddy denied any role in Bieber's downfall, rumors swirled that Bieber had stopped answering his calls long before the arrest. Some insiders whispered the split was quiet but deliberate, with Bieber hinting in interviews that he had outgrown certain mentors. Meanwhile, Diddy faced his own troubles. In 2015, he was investigated for assaulting a UCLA football coach with a kettlebell.
Sean Diddy Combs apparently needs a lesson in sportsmanship. The hip-hop mogul was arrested Monday on a charge of assault with a deadly weapon after allegedly going after a UCLA football coach with a kettlebell, campus police confirmed. Combs was detained on campus shortly after 12:30 p.m. following the incident at the university's Acosta Athletic Training Complex. His son Justin plays football for the Bruins.
Bieber's name popped up in gossip chatter again, not because he was involved, but because fans noted how both men were drifting through scandal-laden reputations. Bieber's mother, Patty Mallet, didn't mince words either, blaming Hollywood figures for corrupting her son, a veiled jab many linked back to Diddy. By 2018, the final break was undeniable. Bieber married Hailey Baldwin in a highly publicized ceremony. Diddy wasn't invited. Gossip sites reported he felt snubbed, but Bieber had clearly closed the chapter. By 2020, his interviews never mentioned Diddy at all. But was the split as clean as it looked, or were there hidden resentments that still shaped their paths? By 2023, the scandals that had long swirled around Sean Diddy Combs finally erupted into federal courtrooms. Lawsuits stacked up, allegations of trafficking, misconduct, and abuse that prosecutors claimed stretched back decades.
One thing that's been interesting during jury selection, Combs, like all criminal defendants, is required to be in the courtroom. And while he is known with this image of being a hip-hop mogul, kind of this icon who threw those elaborate star-studded white parties, his attire in court is very different. He looks almost like a college professor. His hair has turned gray. He's been in custody at the federal jail in Brooklyn, and he is not wearing clothes that you would expect a recording artist to wear. He's wearing gray pants, a navy blue crew neck sweater with a white collar popping out of the top of it, reflecting the seriousness of these charges that he's facing.
The first time, the government wasn't just treating Diddy as a music mogul with rumors in his orbit. They were framing him as a predator with a pattern. And that pattern, they argued, included his relationships with young stars. Almost immediately, Justin Bieber's name surfaced again. Tabloids began recycling images from 2009 to 2011, photos of the teen star leaving Diddy's mansion, driving his Lamborghini, or stepping out of clubs. Prosecutors didn't accuse Bieber of any wrongdoing, but his role in the narrative was unavoidable. Court filings and commentary described mentorship behaviors that now look disturbingly different under the spotlight. Suddenly, clips of Bieber admitting he was a little scared of Diddy were making the rounds on TikTok and Twitter. Even the infamous Lamborghini promise resurfaced.
You know, Diddy bought his son a Bentley. Maybe, he could buy you one also.
Got me a Lamborghini. And
Oh, well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last time.
He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Oh, apparently not.
Everything ain't for everybody.
In courtroom reporting, journalists highlighted how a $200,000 car given to a minor was once treated as a playful tabloid headline. Yet in 2023, it became evidence of grooming patterns. Witness testimonies described hotel parties with underage guests and alcohol, prompting reporters to reprint Patty Millette's old warnings about Hollywood figures corrupting her son. The ripple effect was immediate online. Hashtags like #BieberConnection and #DiddyTrial trended for days, with internet sleuths dissecting past interviews and paparazzi clips. Fans debated whether Bieber would testify, while gossip columns speculated about private FBI interviews. His team stayed silent, offering no official comment, while Diddy's lawyers insisted the mentorships were harmless, painted as generosity rather than exploitation. Yet the media framed Bieber as the one who got away, the star who cut ties before the scandal fully swallowed Diddy. But if Bieber's escape was luck or foresight remains a question hanging over the trial. And as the legal firestorm deepened, whispers grew louder. If Bieber represented Diddy's past, whose name would define his downfall in the present? Once the courtroom drama ignited, the media machine went into overdrive. News outlets dusted off decade-old footage of a teenage Justin Bieber grinning awkwardly beside Diddy. Viral TikToks replayed the same clips on loop. Bieber behind the wheel of Diddy's Lamborghini, Bieber leaving his mansion late at night, Bieber admitting on camera he was a little scared of the mogul. Suddenly, what once looked like mentorship now struck viewers as unsettling. Fans flooded Twitter with hashtags like #ProtectJustin, framing him as a near victim who dodged a bullet. The Belieber Army, one of the internet's most powerful fandoms, rallied online with forensic energy. Reddit threads dissected every old interview, comparing body language and tone. Paparazzi photos re-emerged, analyzed like evidence in a trial. YouTubers uploaded expose-style videos, racking up millions of views, while podcasters speculated about Bieber's silence. Even Netflix reportedly weighed whether to feature him in an upcoming Diddy documentary. One detail drove the storm into overdrive: the Lamborghini. The clip of Bieber driving Diddy's car resurfaced millions of times, reframed not as a cool birthday gift, but as a bizarre gesture in a relationship already raising eyebrows. Memes mocked the promise car, while opinion writers called Bieber lucky to escape. The story bled into Bieber's personal life. His religious pivot and marriage to Hailey Baldwin were reframed as part of his escape from Diddy's world. Old tweets mentioning Diddy mysteriously disappeared, only to be restored by archive sites, fueling speculation he wanted to erase history. Meanwhile, Hailey avoided public comment, intensifying curiosity. Industry insiders confirmed tension between the two men long before, while celebrity blogs drew direct lines between Bieber's scandals and his early mentorship under Diddy. The narrative crystallized. Bieber became the symbol of what could have happened, a warning case study in Hollywood's dangerous power games. But if the media was rewriting Bieber's past, what did that mean for Diddy's future as his empire cracked under relentless pressure? July 2025 marked the moment Sean Diddy Combs' empire collapsed in full view of the world. After years of speculation, rumor, and mounting lawsuits, a jury convicted him on 2 counts under the Mann Act, charges tied to transporting individuals for prostitution. Each carried a maximum of 10 years, meaning the once untouchable mogul faced 2 decades behind bars. Though he was
Here's how long Sean Combs could spend in prison. I'm Cheyenne Roundtree. I'm a senior investigations journalist at Rolling Stone. Because Combs has no previous criminal record, there could be a varying amount of time that he could serve. Prosecutors indicated they could be pushing for 20 years in prison. However, they noted the guidelines suggest between 51 and 63 months. However, Combs' team could push for time served and probation. The sentence will be drastically shorter than what Combs was facing had he been convicted of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, in which he faced up to life in prison.
Was acquitted of racketeering, prosecutors called the convictions a victory for victims, and the sentencing phase dominated global headlines. And as the story broke, Justin Bieber's name resurfaced once more. Commentators across networks noted how Bieber's decision to distance himself years earlier may have saved his career. Fans celebrated his silence as wisdom, flooding social platforms with praise for his ability to walk away. Hashtags branded him a survivor of Hollywood's darkness, while others asked whether his faith-based rebrand was in fact a way to escape Diddy's shadow. Inside the courtroom, the contrast was stark. Victim testimonies painted Diddy as a predator who abused his power, while his family sat grimly in silence. Once loyal allies cut ties overnight. Revolt TV severed partnerships, Sean John's planned revival was scrapped, and artists under his label scrambled to negotiate new contracts. Streaming services quietly reconsidered deals, erasing Diddy's influence from future projects. Meanwhile, Bieber said nothing. He gave no interviews, no statements, and no tweets. But that silence only grew louder, fueling speculation about sealed testimonies or private cooperation with investigators. Rumors of future tell-all memoirs gained traction, adding another layer of mystery to his role in the story. By the end, the media narrative was clear. Bieber represented the one who escaped, the reminder of what could have happened if he had stayed too close. For Diddy, it was the end of an era. For Bieber, it was proof that distance had been his greatest defense. And so, their legacy ended not in a studio or a stage, but in the shadows of a courtroom where silence spoke louder than music. Thanks for watching. This story proves Hollywood is darker than it looks. If you want more shocking scandals and untold histories, hit subscribe and check out our other videos. Trust me, the next revelation will make this one feel tame.